Welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, not National Sales Manager for Bona Adhesives.
Did you just say not National Sales Manager? Or does that skip there?
No. Yeah, it skipped. It wasn't me.
It was a skip. And I'm Rob Johnson from Bona Training.
How we doing, Rob?
Oh, I'm doing really good, Wayne. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. You know why I'm doing fantastic?
I can't wait to hear it.
Mentally strong.
Mentally strong, huh?
Yeah. My football coach used to say PMA. That was his whole thing for the season. PMA. That was his whole philosophy. Positive mental attitude. I think we were 5-6. We were 5-6 that year, but we were positive.
It was a very positive 5-6.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay,
hey,
Rob.
Before we get going, need to talk to you about something.
Okay.
I'm not sure which podcast it was. Maybe it was 2 or 3 podcasts ago. You had made a statement that said Rob Johnson doesn't work on paper.
Oh man, just skip right over that.
Yeah, Rob Johnson doesn't work on paper. So I'm having dinner with Pauline the other night, and I said, you're not gonna believe what Wayne said. Mm-hmm. He said that Rob Johnson doesn't work on paper. And she says, well, he's right.
Thank God.
And I said, what? She goes, oh. I said, do you know what that means? She goes, yeah, I know exactly what it means. Think about it. He's absolutely right. You do not work on paper. Mm-hmm. What? She goes, let's just do this exercise. She got out a piece of paper, mm-hmm. and she started to write stuff down.
Oh, man.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. You got to be kidding me. She goes, let's look at the schools. Let's just look at your training, okay? Who's going to sign up for your trainings when we write it all down on paper? You yell at people. You hit people with a stick. You call everybody bad nicknames. You make fun of people.
Yep.
And she just kept going, right? And I was like, oh, okay. I get it, okay? I get it. She goes, so on paper, look at it. She's like, look at it. On paper, he's absolutely right. So once again, Pauline just buddies up with Wayne.
Well, the main thing is it works, and it works well. I remember the first time I saw you do a training, I didn't even know you never saw me watching you. You didn't know me. I mean, I was a guy in the audience. It was at a convention somewhere. It was you were coding over a pattern. It was like a very fancy parquet type of pattern. It may have been walnut, some other stuff. Really fancy. The guy I know he's from LA. Can't remember the name of the company. I don't know if they're around anymore. You had a guy that was coding with you. And I saw you guys coding this floor, and you were giving that guy so much shit. I don't know if you picked him out of the audience or he was a young kid. And I mean, it was funny as hell to me watching you. You were brutal on that kid. And I go, man, who's that? He goes, yeah, it's the trainer. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious, man. And then I was in your class when I first went to work for you for the company. And that was even funnier, man. I mean, it was like a drill sergeant. And it was a kick, man. So that's funny that I'm glad she at least she was on my side on that one.
Oh, she got a paper and pencil, and she put me down on paper, and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I get it.
Yeah. No, I got another one. You got another.
Yeah, that's what she was. Yeah, she was coming up with more than you could have come up with. She was off to the races. She was actually having a ball with it.
All right, Rob, we are going to do a show today, 13 things that mentally tough people don't do. All right, we talked about this trade. You got to be tough to be in this trade. We talked about our last show was on Gen Z.
How to talk
to them. And one thing that you have to know going into this trade, you do got to be mentally tough. Anybody who owns a business or works in a business like this, we're going in people's homes. Sometimes there's stress on the line. A lot goes into it. You got to be mentally tough. So 13 things mentally tough people don't do.
Do not do. This is
Do
what they
not.
don't do. They do
Yeah.
not do this.
And who better to have? I mean, we've talked about mental health. We've talked about our physical health. Taking care of your bodies.
Who
But
better?
now, in
Who
our
better?
in our mind, body, and spirit show, it's how to not the 13 things mentally tough people do not do. Fire away, Rob.
All right. Oh, my phone's about to die. Great. All right, Rain. You ready? Here's number one.
Yeah.
Mentally tough people don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves.
I'm out. Well, all right. Well, look, you go ahead and finish up.
That made me snort. That was a good one. I'm done.
Yeah, well,
Couldn't get past number one.
Yeah. Do they get angry? Because that one made me angry. No, lot to be said for that. Just in general in life, by the way, too. I mean, we all come into this world with different circumstances. I mean, I don't cry that much and complain about having red hair when I was a kid growing up.
No, I don't think you ever mentioned having red hair on the show.
No.
Ever. And speaking of having red hair on the show, how about the feedback we've been getting on the spray tan show?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Now I want to get back and get one. Now I think we both need to get one. You know what we should do is we should get one this weekend. And when we hook up in Nashville, you and I will both look like an Adonis, man.
Yeah, yeah. What you looking at? You never seen a tan man before?
Huh? You never seen a redheaded guy? You never seen a redheaded guy and a bald guy with a tan?
Never seen a redheaded guy with a double deep Malibu tan? All right. Don't feel sorry for themselves wasting time. You know what they don't do is number 2, they do not give up their power. You want to explain that?
Huh.
I've also I'm out again because my mother-in-law, I mean, how many times I did not want to go over there and not want to go over there for dinner and not want to go over there and help her do antique furniture. But no, she called and I got to go. And
you gave up the power, huh?
I gave up the power to her.
I'm not, you know what? I don't know about number 2. That's a tough one. Don't give up the power. All right, let's go to number 3.
All right.
Number 3, they don't shy away from change.
So this is what mentally tough people don't do. They don't shy away from change. Yeah, I like that. I kind of agree.
Shy away from change. And man, I just had this conversation today with the class.
Yeah.
We were doing the wire brush, and whenever we do the wire brush demo, I kind of give them my take on the whole wire brush deal. And kind of goes like this. When Pete and I left my dad's business, we figured out how to do white floors. Because back in the 80s, everybody wanted white floors, and a lot of contractors wanted nothing to do. A lot of floor guys in the Albany area wanted nothing to do with white floors. So Pete and I figured it out, and we became white stain bleaching specialists. Okay. I think I told you the story where the guy misspelled bleaching. He spelled it by-eaching instead of bleaching, and I got the cards for half price. People would ask me, what's this by-eaching? I'm like, it's a special process that, it's proprietary,
right.
We can't really talk about it. It's ours.
It's a little bit like bleaching, but not exactly.
Right. So we saw that, we saw the change in the industry, but we really did it out of necessity because we were new and need to get some work, And And then, the distress floor came, and the hand scrape floors, and wire brush. And the whole time, people's like, "Hey, do you do this?" And I'm like, "No, no, don't do that to your floors. That's crazy. You're just sucking the life out of the floor, right?" Well, because we were shying away from the change, we weren't making the money. The people
Yeah.
who embrace the change are the people who are going to make great money in this business. And you and I both know people that are doing this. They're on top of it. They're on top of all the changes coming down the road. They're the first ones on. The
Well,
first ones to do this stuff. It was like the first person to get the dust-free system. In our area, the first guy with dust-free, he was making an extra buck a foot. So back in the 80s, you know, when you're charging $2 and getting another buck just because you're backing up,
yeah,
it's a lot of money. So the
yeah.
people that embrace the change and get on board with it, they're going to make some good money. So don't
I
shy away from the change.
Yeah, and I get it. I get change in this industry can be scary because you have systems down that work, and now you're going to do something that's a little bit different. And I get that, but I don't think it's ever been an easier time to embrace change. There's so much, you know, instruction out there now. There's so many schools out there now that you don't have to make the mistake out on the job, and the technology and the communication is so much better that. Guy, and I still, I'll never forget two brothers. I won't go into who they were, where they were, but um, I was talking about staining a floor. When we came out with these different stains, and they go, "No, no, man, don't waste your time. We don't stain anything. We do every job we do is natural finish." And I started laughing because I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. I said, "Well, how can you be in this industry, man, and you don't stain floors?" He goes, "No, we talk them into natural finish everything." And the rare occasion that this floor's got to be stained, we sub it out to this other guy. I go, all right. I said,
Wow.
look, I said, honest God, can you guys come back tonight? Because I'm going to do a demo on man, it make your life so much easier. And I mean, there's good money in it, man. And plus, how can you be in this job without staining floors? And he goes, nah, man, I don't think so. I said,
Wow.
yeah. So talk about, I mean, that is the hardcore not wanting to change, man, and what it
Yeah.
could have really improved his life and opened up different avenues for them. So yeah, embracing change is scary, man. But all the ones that make that move that do embrace change, usually there's a reason why. I mean, look, we'd all be back, like you said, 3680 in bad lighting, right? And poly
Right.
back in the days, but. A lot of good changes. Change is not necessarily bad. Change can be a very good positive thing.
That's rough not wanting to stain any floors. I always tell
I
all my students, before I was buffing stain on, I was good at staining. Good, not great. I was good at staining, but much better at talking people out of stain. But I did not refuse to do stain.
yeah.
But
These guys,
what you were talking about the about education and what's available to people now. When you said that, I just thought to myself, from the time you and I were doing floors, full time, Bona has 14 regional training centers. Think about that.
we had one
In
option.
in North America, we have 14 training centers.
Yeah,
And I've said it on the show 100 times. I tell every student, it's one of the first things I tell them is like, look at, use us, okay? Use these training centers to your advantage. We're here. This is a batting cage. This is a driving range. We're going to work on your swing. You got to try something new. Don't try it at somebody's house. Come on down to one of these training centers. Hell, we'll even buy you lunch.
yeah.
Okay. And, I hate to jump back to like, oh, poor us, but 14 training centers, man. 14 training centers just on how to use adhesives, finishes, machines, all for the wood floor industry. You say that out loud. We have 14 training centers. It's amazing. I know I work for Bona and I'm a trainer for Bona and everything, but man, 14 training centers is pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
We had one option in the 70s and maybe two in the 80s, and it was all getting on a plane and going to St. Louis or to Memphis, right?
the
And that
Northwell
was,
School,
yeah,
right?
that was
Yeah.
your option. So very
I
cool.
think there was only maybe one or two of those a year. I think it was just
Yeah.
one for the longest time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. They don't dwell on the past. Well, I skipped one. Well, I'm going to roll with it because
All right.
I'm there.
Go with it.
Don't dwell on the past. I mean, listen, it's important to know the past. It's important to know, what went on before. But it is also important to move on from that and learn from that and move on. Don't get stuck in it. And I think it's important in life too. I mean, for your own well being. So it's important to understand where you came from as far as the trade and everything. But don't get stuck. Don't get stuck on it because that's why, as they say, the rear view mirror in your car is a lot smaller than the windshield, right? It's important. What's
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. Yeah. You're gonna get a belt for that one. That's a good one.
I
That's
don't. I
almost
didn't.
like that. It's good. It's not as good as lion doesn't care what a sheep thinks. I like that
Yeah,
one a lot. But I
yeah,
like that rearview mirror thing. I might try to
yeah.
use that someday. Yeah.
Well, this is the day I was able to use it. I've heard it years ago, and so it's not the Wayne Highland original. I can't hashtag it, but yeah, man. I think that's smart.
The
And
the knucklehead kids that I have in this class this week, they did a hashtag. Uh, I was showing everybody how to operate the drum, and I was talking about you don't want to be one of these guys that just backs into the wall and does a butt stop, and that's when they pick up the drum, the handle. So you don't want to be just backing in and butt stopping. Well, the knucklehead kids, they did a hashtag Bona butt stop. So that's floating around. I don't know where it is, but
nice. Well, how would you? It's
they
it's out there in the universe somewhere.
it's out there. It's in the cloud, right? There's a cloud or something. So yeah,
There,
it's in the cloud.
some young guy the other day told me, he goes, "Hey, I tagged you in something, and there's like 300 and some odd views, and it's only been like an hour and a half or whatever." And I go, "Oh, that's great. I don't know where the hell it's at." And then when I finally find it, it's like 12 views. Now I know he's not lying to me. He's got no reason to lie to me, but I see 12 views. How does he see over 300? I don't know. But all right.
Yeah. So hashtag Bona butt stop is out there, and if anybody wonders what it was, that's what I was. That's where it came from. I was showing them don't just
All
bang
right.
into the wall and butt stop the machine.
Don't focus on
Good.
things. Don't focus on things you can't control. Amen. I have a philosophy, man. Like I'll worry about things until they happen. Once they happen, it's over. Move on. And I'll give you an example. My wife, there's a telephone pole behind our house, and I knew when we moved in there, it's in a bad spot, man, because we got to back out every time. And I knew my wife was going to eventually hit it. And I used to say, Jude, remember that pole's back there. I probably said it 20 times, and she crunched my truck into the back of that telephone pole. And
Ah,
I mean, could not be more upset about it, right? And so I go, Jude, it's over. I mean, you did it, you hit it, so don't worry about it. I mean, it happened. So I think there's a lot to that, man. I think um, once it's happened in the past and it's happened, man, just don't focus on it. You can't control it. Just move on away from it. So
yeah.
we say in this bit, control what you can control. Look at this pandemic is a great example. I mean, some things are completely out of control, and the amount of time we spend, the anxiety on things that never come to fruition, the things that we worry about that never happen. If you took all that part of your life that you wasted that energy, I mean, that's a ton of time that you could be put into something positive. And one thing I'm going to say too, this damn news out there now is so depressing. So watching these shows and getting caught up in stuff, I can't control what happens in the world. I mean, so why am I going to waste my energy worrying about it, man? I'll put it somewhere positive where I can do something that's productive.
The sad state of affairs is good news does not sell advertising.
Yeah,
Okay? Follow the money. Nobody's going to watch good news. People want, that's what's going to sell advertising, bad news, because for some reason, that's
Yeah.
what people want to watch. You know, turn that stuff off. My God.
I got
You watch, it's funny because I have been preaching that to my wife and kids since they could walk. Okay.
Mhm.
It's a choice. You don't have to be miserable about it. You know what I mean? Don't put down that bag of bricks. You've heard me say all these different things, you know. You ever watch the show Blue Bloods?
No.
I like the show. It's a cop show, right? Cop, family dinner, you know, the whole deal.
Yeah.
So I love the show. Can't get enough of it. Well, the guy on the show, Tom Selleck, his character on the show, said something that just goes perfect with this. There's no sense in rehearsing for a tragedy. And
Yeah.
man, when he said that, I was like, wow, that's freaking,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That just makes so much sense. So yeah, absolutely.
However,
Ah,
do you ever daydream about giving a eulogy to somebody? See, I have, and I made it like I was the hero. Didn't matter that the guy was dead. You know what I mean? But my eulogy was just brilliant, beautiful. Like afterwards, people were coming up to me and going like, "Man, that was unreal, man. That eulogy was incredible." I'm sorry, my friend, the guy had to die.
was
But
it me? Was it
no,
my eulogy?
it could have been. It was a random person. It could have been you. Now, shit, I can't do your eulogy now if something, God forbid, should happen to you because they're going, that dude is saying that, but he's really, it's all about him.
I've got a lot of this straightened out. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't really so much my eulogy, but my wakes. I told Pauline, look, you're probably going to have to rent out the Pepsi Center or something, 20,000 seats.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Yeah.
But I
I think,
want 3 wakes. And the big thing with my wakes is I do not want that wake music. Okay. I don't want that, please. That is I kind of want a little smirk on my face. Okay.
yeah. So you're going to have like an open, like, oh, so a wake, you're open, it's like an open casket.
My open casket wake. Yeah. But it's going to be 3 nights. And each night is a different genre of music. Country, night number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, rock and roll. The second night, rock and roll. And then the third night would be the crooners, the
Okay.
Sinatras.
Hold on a second. Right? Stop right there.
3
You're like
weeks.
you're like that person that has a wedding in Hawaii. That everybody's gonna get on a freaking plane and spend all this money going to Hawaii to their reception. You get one night. You don't get 3 nights.
No. Look, you can choose what night. Pauline will tell you.
Okay. All right, that's cool.
So you
Like
can
I
go
go
to
on-
country night. You
Yeah.
know?
So if a guy shows up on country night, he's a rock and roll. I go, no, I'm sorry.
I'll be back tomorrow. Right.
Tomorrow is your day. Yeah.
That'll
No,
be in the paper. The
Yeah.
announcement, that
Yeah.
type of thing.
I see you sign the ledger. Go ahead and strike that and come back tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want an open casket. For one thing, I don't understand why anybody would. I mean,
I would like an open casket with a bit of a smirk on my face, so people would, look and oh God, look at him,
look at him smiling.
Yeah, smiling at me.
While they're doing that, I'm going to put my hand on it. Then I'm going to go into the eulogy, and I'm actually going to close the casket while I'm doing it, just to see if I can get away with it. We're saying goodbye to him now. And
are you a toucher of dead people when you go to a wedding?
No.
Oh my God. Pauline's a toucher. Pauline touches dead people. Yes.
You can't. No, that's a problem.
I have seen her so many times at the casket and just put her hand on the person's hand, and just like one of those,
Oh no. Yeah.
I'm getting the heebie-jeebies right now from that.
Yeah. No, that's not me.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a wake, an honest to God wake?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
When I
told you,
was,
she touches dead people at these wakes.
but that doesn't, is it a wake or is it a funeral?
Oh, wake.
Okay, because
Wake
I,
is where the caskets are open. The funeral
no,
is casket's not open.
no. Okay. So I went to a wake in Ireland. Okay. A family member of mine that I never met before. So whatever. So it was a dead lady, an old lady who's in the next room in a bed, not in a casket, but in a bed. And in our room, they were singing and playing the violin and all that stuff.
Whoa, wait a minute. The dead lady was in a bed?
Yes. That's
No
a
casket.
wake.
A
She's
bed.
not in a casket. She's in her own bed. She's laying in her bed.
And
In
does
our
everybody
room,
go in there?
well, yeah, I'm getting to that. In our room,
Okay.
they're playing the violin, they're drinking whiskey, they're laughing, they're playing cards, but everybody would just randomly go in the other room and say and see her. So like they go, Wayne, go on, do your respect. And I go and I go, what's respect? What? I don't know this lady, and she's dead. And I go in and I'm staring at her, and it was the weirdest thing, man. That's not me. Maybe that traumatized me. I don't know.
Oh, that's weird. That's how
Yeah,
they do it in Ireland, huh?
yeah, for Irish wake, yeah. Okay. They don't fear.
Where are we?
They
Where we at?
don't fear taking calculated risks. Right? Mentally strong people do not fear taking calculated risks. And yeah, whatever. I don't even.
I can't stop thinking about Pauline touching dead people. I can't.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So what do you say? They don't take.
They don't fear taking calculated risks.
Makes sense. I mean, we go back to the first people who,
Yeah.
the first people who embrace change.
All right. All
Those
right.
are
So
the ones
this
who are
is
going to make money.
yeah.
How about this one? They don't worry about pleasing everyone.
Yeah. That's tougher than it sounds like for a lot of people. I mean, because especially in a business, you got to please everybody, but you got to carve out time for your own, right? So
Well,
that's
I'm gonna go with a Wayneism here,
okay.
and I've heard you say it on the show a couple times, and I've been using it in schools. I'm gonna give you your props. Um, they don't worry about pleasing everyone, and I think that goes with what you say is maybe sometimes the best job is the one that you don't take.
Yeah, yeah. You
When you
know,
get that weird feeling from the customer, like this is never gonna work. You know that gut feeling that you get, and your gut, man, come on, let's face it, 95% of the time the gut is right, you know.
yeah, that's very true, man. Yeah,
And if you're thinking this person could be incredibly tough to please, maybe that's the one where maybe this job isn't for me.
well, you also got to think about your own self-worth, right? I mean, and someone told me something a long time ago that I thought was really good, and this goes to also that episode we have that we had a great episode with Chris Izza about your business and saving money and stuff, and that I was told that think of yourself like there's an old man on your shoulder, like that's you 30 years from now. Obviously, we would be dead in a wake. We'd be 90. So not
You'd
us.
be in a bed and
We're
I'd be
already
in a
that old
casket.
man. Yeah, but anyhow, for the younger people, like think of like an old man that's on your shoulder, right? You got to take care of that old man, right? You got to look after that guy because that's you down the road. So what you're doing now, you got to think about taking care of that old guy, the stretching, all the things that we talked about in our mental health episodes, and taking care of your body episodes, and financially take care of that guy. So I lost my train. I don't know what the hell I was even talking about.
Oh,
Don't worry
old
about
man,
pleasing everybody,
there was an
so
old
anyhow,
man on your shoulder. The old
yeah,
man on your shoulder you were going.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to pleasing everybody, also look out for yourself and does it make sense for your business? That's why someone said, that was Chris Izza, I think, with the episode, hey, can you give me a 5% discount or 10% discount or whatever? Well, if you've done your homework and everything, know what your costs are and that kind of stuff, think about that old guy. You got to take care of that guy. And by giving this guy a discount, especially if you're busy, you're booked 3 months out, why would you? Right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to be said for that. And also, listen, here's another good point is that, and I've got so many, is that your schedule, right? Can you get it done? Can you guys work the weekend? Can you guys? I need you guys to get this done before the 14th or whatever. And now the conditions aren't right, and you went ahead and pleased them, but you screwed yourself in the meantime because now the floor's cupped, right? So there's a balance there, right? And make sure that you do that and take care of yourself. See, I winded that shit up really nicely.
Man, you are the consummate professional, man.
Thank you, sir.
The consummate professional.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be tough for you. They don't resent other people's success.
Oh. I'm out.
Yeah, I knew this. You got a long way into it. I was out on one.
I'm out. Yeah, I made it pretty good, but yeah, I'm out.
I see the
What's the name of that award? You got it with you? Where is it? Show it to us.
I just happen to have it handy. You're of course talking about the Carl Guzman Award. You're talking about the 2018 CG Memorial Award.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I saw the look on your face when I announced to you that I had won.
Oh,
12th time I saw the resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't mind admitting it. I would have liked to get that award. I'm jealous. Absolutely.
Well,
gives me something to strive for.
There you go. That's what I raise people up.
Exactly. You don't beat them down.
No. Listen, I got a 12-pound bass on the wall. I can see it from where I'm at. I talked about it before.
I've seen that bass. You brought me to your house that one time.
Yeah, for 29. You thought I was going to introduce you to my wife, didn't you?
Yeah, right.
Brought you in there and showed you my 12-pound bass.
He wanted to show me the fish.
For 29 years,
it was
I held that over.
Big it didn't look real. I thought it was going to turn and start singing to me. Remember the singing bass thing on the wall?
Yeah.
That's how fake that thing looked.
For 29 years, my fishing partner, I tortured him with that bass. I mean, we could be talking about anything, whatever, and at any point I could stop and go, "Oh my God, I don't know what I was thinking." It's not even about that, is it? It's about the bass. It's about the fact that I got a 12-pound bass. And you go, "Man, what the hell's the matter with you, man? Just let it go." The dude caught a 13.24 a month ago.
Oh.
Do you know the pain that's going to cause me? I don't know if I'll ever top it. Okay, where are we going at? Next one.
They don't make the same mistakes over and over and over. But like I tell everybody in the class, I've made every mistake known to man in the wood floor business at least 3 times. And then once you've done that, that's when they make you a trainer. I think 3 is the limit. If you do it the 4th time, all right, now maybe it's something.
Yeah.
Let's try something different.
But I mean, there is we joke about that, but there's a lot to be said about that too. Is learning and why this happened and how we can get around it the next time and talking about it and making a conscious effort to make a change there. So yeah, good stuff.
You know that last one you said a couple bullets ago about they don't dwell on the past.
Yeah. It's
not that I don't think that we should not dwell on the past, but I think that's what can really make a good craftsman is it's not that he dwells on the past, but he sees maybe some mistakes that he's made and always looking, not really dwelling on it, but thinking about how did that mark get there and what can I do to not make it happen again?
Yeah.
And I think the more you look and the more critical you are, and it's not dwelling on it, but I think the more critical you are, definitely you're going to be a better craftsman. That eye is going to be is going to make your work better. Yeah. But not to be upset about it.
No, exactly. And the other thing too is I've said it a lot of times, you got to turn it into a positive. Okay, it's a mistake, but what can we get out of this? Man, the homeowner's upset right now. How do we turn this into a positive? And she becomes a repeat customer, a referral. And you got to get something out of it. I mean, I refuse to go into something and it just ends up negative. You got to get something out of that positive, remember it, move on from it, and learn from it. Simple enough. Don't dwell on it. So, okay. Oh, shoot, this is gonna be a tough one too. Uh, they don't feel the world owes them anything.
We're both out. We're out.
Yeah, yeah, son
That's
of a.
it.
Yep. That's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you make your way in one way in this world, and I've actually the one person in this trade that I worried that they were young starting out, that I worried about them being successful, was when only into it for like 6 months, showed up with a brand new van and a brand new trailer and all brand new tools. Okay, and his grandmother gave him the money to start the business,
Wow.
and I thought, got it too easy, man. You know what I mean? Little piece of me went, I don't know, man. I mean, there's no hard knocks there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you know what I mean? And it didn't last very long. That everything went up for sale in a short amount of time, and it was
Oh, really? Oh, I was
yeah.
hoping there'd be a better ending to that story.
No, sorry. And I actually went to his wake years later. No,
Did you touch him? Did you stick your
no.
hand in there and put your hand on his?
I went in his pocket to see if his grandmama left him any money in there, but nothing. I'm holding his hand. I'm not taking his ring. Jeez. All right.
All right. They don't give up after the first failure.
Amen to that. Yep. Yep.
Wow. That's
Um,
I go back to our training centers with that. Okay. Because I think if say you try something new and it's on somebody else's floor during the job, that could, and you fail, that could keep you away from doing anything ever again.
there's a
And
there's a commercial.
it's a tough learning experience when you're trying it on somebody else's floor. So I just said it. We got 14 training centers, man. Fail here.
You
Fail
can't
here.
be good.
Work it out here.
Yep. You can't be good if you haven't failed. Nobody will ever tell me any different. You have had to have failed to be any good. Look at remember the old Michael Jordan commercial? He's had the ball in his hand like 680 times and missed the last shot. He's missed 12,000 free throws over his career, or something crazy like that. He's Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? He missed the last shot and lost the game dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and he's known as one of the best. Matter of fact, in my mind, he is the best. Yeah, failure is part of the game, man. I mean, it's part of the game. But all these things before that comes into play. You don't dwell on it. All right, we screwed up. We learn from it. We're going to get better. And even if it's not a disaster, you know it could have been better. You learn from it and move on. So we don't have to dwell on it too much more. I like this one here, man. Is they don't expect immediate results, and maybe that's what happened to my man with the grandma in the trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing worth having is easy. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's you, but then you appreciate it all the more. Hey, listen, that 12-pound bass, as I told my buddy Paul, that didn't come easy, Paul. I outcasted you time after time again. I presented my bait better than you. I've got my knot was better than yours. It's something for you to look up to and grow with, but it didn't come easy. You know what I mean?
And look what you've done for him now. Now he's got the 13.4.
That son of a, yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's actually my 13.24 in
There
some
you go.
ways. And after he got it, and he started rubbing it in right away. I said, "Listen, you've had the record for like
Oh,
6 minutes. You've had the record. I've had it for 29 years. I mean, show some class. What's the matter with you?
like I did.
Like I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to raise you up. Okay, where are we at now?
They don't fear alone time, which reminds me of a song. All by myself. Yes, I'm gonna be all by myself anymore. Who sang
Do you
that
know
song?
was it Barry Manilow? God, I'm so sorry that I know the answer to that.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Was it Barry Manilow?
I'm pretty sure it's Barry Manilow. All by myself. Why don't you Google that real quick?
Eric Carmen.
Siri, who sang All by Myself?
Eric Carmen, 1975.
It's by Celine Dion.
It's not by Celine Dion. See, that's why this new technology, you can't depend on it. She just said Celine Dion. That's not her song. It's the guy you said. I thought it was Barry Manilow because the guy sounds like Barry Manilow.
He sounds like Manilow, but yeah, Eric Carmen. I wonder if he's a one-hit wonder. I don't think I know anything else of his.
No, I think he is a one-hit wonder. You know what? After that, he was alone.
You know what? Celine Dion did the song too.
Well, I'm sure she did, but that's not her song. She came years.
Eric Carmen's song.
Right. Okay. We said Don't Fear Alone Time. You got anything on that, Rob?
I just sang it. Don't Fear Alone Time.
Okay, well then you covered it.
You know something? There's a lot to be said for alone time just staring out the window and thinking. I'm dead serious. I know that sounds stupid, but
not to me one bit. Not to
every
me.
company, anybody running a company, I like to call it just blue sky. You just need some alone time. Turn off the phone, turn off everything, stare out the window and think without being bombarded with everything that happens day to day. Blue sky. And it'd be amazing some of the thoughts and ideas that you could probably come up with your business. I wish I had done it more.
Do you remember Seinfeld when they promoted George to one of the Yankees executives? He was a total half-wit. And that's what he do. They walk in the office and say, "What are you doing?" Like he's doing nothing. I'm thinking. You know what I mean? When you get that high up the ladder, you can do that. Where you can, he's sitting in his office. But he's thinking. Right? He's figuring things out. Yeah.
Yes. Blue sky.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with some blue sky thoughts, man.
Yes.
Clear your head. Blue sky. What
So I'm
about
gonna
you?
be honest.
You an alone time guy? I know you like alone time.
I didn't used to be, but I am now. And actually, I really had a tough time with alone time, to be honest with you. Years and years, I didn't like it, man. I just go all the time, and I didn't. And then I felt like it was boring. Like if I wasn't doing something all the time, that I should be doing something and to this day I hate staying home Saturday night. I despise it. I mean, I can't tell you how much it bums me out actually. Saturday night, I feel like I'm Mr. Excitement. I should be doing something somewhere. Somewhere there's a bingo game. Somewhere there's a bluegrass band for the but now I actually embrace it now. I do like it a lot. Yeah.
You actually called yourself Mr. Excitement.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Mr. Excitement, Mr. Entertainment, Mr. Excitement.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's a good one.
Okay,
Mr.
this has been.
I think I'm going to introduce you as Mr. Excitement in Nashville.
Would you mind?
I'm looking forward to next week. It's been a while since you and I have hit the road together.
Yep, this is going to be good, man. I love going to Nashville. You know that about me, and I'm planning on going downtown with some customers, and maybe hitting a few of the sites. And I'm looking forward to that chicken place that's down the road that we take the customers to. That beautiful fried chicken. The weather's getting good. A lot of positive, energy right now, man. I'm super excited about it. Let's be honest. This has been a half-ass episode.
They all can't be home runs. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just a single up the middle.
Absolutely. And they're
Get on base. Get on base. That's it.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for listening. I want to apologize on both our behalves. And see, this is what happens when Aline doesn't show up. And she goes, I can't be on this episode today. You guys know what you're going to do. I don't have to worry, right? I said, yeah, we're going to
run free.
We're going to do one on constipation and ED. So,
and touching dead people.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. It's been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.